Remember that David Lynch movie, Dune? About that. Submitted by nazisharks. This happened a long time ago. I've been thinking about it a lot lately, because I've been going through some of my old stuff, and I found something I never wanted to see again. This definitely feels like something appropriate for here. When I was a teenager, I started noticing my parents behaving kind of strange. Like, they were different around me. Not, let's treat our son like an adult different, or, he's a grouchy teen, let's ignore him different. It was almost like they were afraid of me, wanted to keep a distance. They were nicer in a way, because they wouldn't ask me to do chores or anything, but not as nice, because they wouldn't ask me to come watch movies with them, go places with them, and that sort of thing. I never thought I'd miss those things. One of the strangest moments early on, I walked in on Dad, sobbing. He'd been drinking a lot, that much I could tell. I came up to him and placed a hand on his shoulder. He leaned away from me and said in almost a whisper, "She just needs to know Bobby is okay." That made my skin crawl. Because the thing is, I'm Bobby. I said I'm fine, nothing to worry about. "Where'd you come from?" he asked, still leaning away. He looked into my eyes like I was some sort of mutant that just appeared in his den. I told myself he was just really drunk and went to my room. Now, I was a pretty average teen. When I hit puberty, I filled out good. I liked playing sports, hockey in particular. I had some girls, nothing serious. Had a good number of friends, and I enjoyed parties. I was a C student for the most part. I did a little better in English Lit because my parents were both big into reading. I was easy to get along with. I didn't have all the angst the less popular or more popular teens had. I was comfortable in the middle. I'm sure I could be a handful to my parents sometimes, but I didn't think I was a bad kid. The way they were treating me had me thinking I'd messed up. I was thinking, did I scratch Dad's car by accident? Did I say something shitty? I knew I'd missed my chores a few times and Mom just did them herself, so I started making sure all my regular chores were done right when they should be. They thanked me like I'd just installed their satellite television, then went back to what they were doing. So after a while of this, I asked them, "Hey, did I do something wrong?" They looked at each other, looked back at me, and shook their heads. "You're doing great, son," Dad said, which was really, really weird. My dad never called me son before all this. After that, I started sitting with them in the evening, when I had the time, just spending quality time together. I thought, if this is reverse psychology, it's working. Dad squirmed a little when I sat next to him. I'd never seen Dad squirm in my life. Do I stink or something? "You're zestfully clean," he said, with an uncomfortable smile. Sitting with them ever so often, I noticed something. They only ever watched one movie anymore. It was all Dune, the 1980s movie, with Kyle MacLachlan, where he's this royal kid who goes to a desert planet and rides sandworms. I'd seen it when I was a kid. It was okay. I didn't think it was good enough to watch over and over, but every time I sat with them, that's what they had on. "You guys sure like Dune lately," I said. We bought the VHS. Might as well get our money's worth, Mom said. Okay. One night, I told them I was heading out with some friends. Then I snuck back into my room through the window. I know, most teens do the opposite, right? So I sneaked back in and just lay back on my bed, listening. I can hear them watching Dune. Again. They're at the part where he's training the desert people to fight with their voices. And I hear them talking. Not like they're talking to each other, but to someone else. So I sneak out to the living room and look in. Mom and Dad are up close to the TV screen. There's no one else in the room. Then they start talking again. They're talking to the movie. Not like yelling to Paul to watch out for that worm. It's like, no, we're okay, Dad would say to the screen, while desert people shouted to their sonic guns. We love you, Mom said, and we miss you. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. What was going on? It was like my family had been replaced by aliens. It didn't make any sense. What? Dad says to the TV then. And this is what really started to scare me. He says, No, he left. We saw him leave. Who are they talking to? They both turned around and saw me watching them. I'm sure it was less than a second, but the looks on their faces was just pure, stunned terror. Then Mom hissed at Dad, Take him out of here! I thought she meant me, but I guess she said it and not him, because Dad turned off the movie and ejected the tape. He put it in the sleeve and went into the basement with it. Mom looked nervous the whole time he was doing this. What's going on? I asked. A surprise, she said, and she asked me what happened for me to come home so soon. I didn't feel well, so I went back upstairs, I lied. Sorry, son, Dad said, entering the room. We were just embarrassed because of your comment about us watching Dune. It's a good movie. You learn more every time you see it. Just think about it. How these people are thrown into the desert planet and lose everything. But there's a secret inside. Do you know about the secret inside? Of course. The way he said it was very unnerving. I wasn't about to argue. I went up to my room. I heard them whispering as I left. I didn't want to know what they were saying. While I moped in my room, I decided to look on the internet for Dune making people behave strangely. Like, remember that movie In the Mouth of Madness, where that guy's writings make people crazy? Well, I couldn't find anything. Mostly just complaints about David Lynch going commercial. So I go on IMDb and put on the Dune forum, parents acting strange, or something in the subject, and I asked if anyone else had noticed someone talking to the movie, or watching it over and over and over. I got a reply almost right away from Dino Newt. Yeah, I remember that. He sent it as a private message. He told me he doesn't know anything more than I do. All he knows is his son got obsessed with the movie before he committed suicide. He watched it over and over, drew scenes from the movie, and said things like, Kyle's desert trek and strange powers have captured me. He thought it was a phase. It was something else. He knows that now. He said his son left a suicide note, if you can call it that. Brought to this planet of worms, only betrayed and desiccated, but I've tasted the spice and see things I shouldn't see. But I've tasted the spice and see the secrets that are inside. You can't imagine. Dune is me. I gave the man my condolences and thanked him for sharing with me. I didn't feel any farther ahead, just a little more scared. The suicide note obviously overlaps with what my dad said to me. It just confirmed that Dune seems to mess with people's heads. We'd watched Dune before. I rented it from Club Videotheque. It wasn't a big deal. I knew I had to get rid of that damn tape, though. If it could make some boy kill himself, maybe it could do that to my parents. So that night, I pretended to be asleep for a while. I know that sounds silly. Were my parents really watching me this close? It was just a gut feeling, and it paid off. After about an hour, when I figured the coast was clear, a shadow under the door frame that I figured was just an obstruction moved away with a shuffle. That shuffle was my mom's slippers. She'd been standing there at my door for an hour. I'd waited another 30 minutes before sneaking out of my room. I moved quietly, because I wasn't sure how asleep they were. They were so cagey lately. I was freaking thorough. To let you know how much this was getting to me, I grabbed the WD-40 from under the sink and greased the basement door hinges, because I know they normally squeak. Yep. I snuck down and started hunting in any hiding place I could think of. The lights flicked on, and Mom and Dad both came rushing down, shouting, "Leave him alone!" and "Get away from here, you miserable monster!" What the hell's the matter with you two? That movie is driving you crazy. You know some kid committed suicide because of that movie? I don't know if those were my exact words, but I basically spewed this stuff out. I've been bottling it up, you know? Dad says, "Isn't it enough you took our Bobby away from us once? You have to do it again?" What? You disgusting thing. Living and breathing in our house for all these weeks, and you have the gall to look like our son. What do you want from us? How much more can we take? Is this a joke? I am your son. They looked at me, and I saw the revulsion in their eyes. Now it made some awful sense. They really believed I wasn't their son. All this time. That's what it was. We knew the very day it happened that you were something different, Mom said. You sound, smell, look the same, but we loved our son. We know. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to prove to them that the obvious fact was that I was the same person. I'd already acknowledged that I was exactly the same. I started crying, more with frustration than hurt, I think. I happened to look up and saw the copy of Dune resting on the ceiling rafters. I grabbed it and I was about to smash it. And that's when they started wailing. Not crying, just like loud sounds coming out of their mouths. It was like a car alarm. I stopped right away. Please don't, Mom said. That's our boy in there. Bobby went into Dune and you took him away from us. Show some mercy, whatever you are. I took the tape. I didn't smash it. I just took it, packed my bags, and left. Never went back home. I put that tape away somewhere, tried never to think of it. I lost track of my parents over the years. I tried to find them on a few occasions. They never reached out to me. I've not been hiding. Almost 20 years. Last week I went looking for something in my stuff, and I found that damn tape. I couldn't bring myself to destroy it. Still. Instead, I decided to watch it. Thought it might do me good. I thought. I got to the scene where Leto dies. and I swear I heard someone whisper, "Come on in, Bobby." I rewound and played that part a few times, but it never happened again. I put the tape away. Maybe in another 20 years, I'll try again.